So we are ready for part 2 of our virtual world building, which is making 3D objects to go inside that virtual world. So I'm going to give you an introduction to our setup, and then I'll show you the process, and then we'll look at software. So basically, you've got a lightbox, this is an extension plate for this very cool automated turntable. All of these things are from a company called Foldio. That fits on there nice. Yeah, there it is. And you can see that the Foldio, that's got lights up here. It's got 2 lights in the front. If you're on a budget, may I suggest... Oh yeah, Chinese paper lanterns work really, really well. Actually, you just got to move them around. But this is a nice setup for just having it stable and in one place. I'll show you the lights. You can turn, let's see, the little ones can go on first in the front. Already, that's coming from here. You can see it makes a huge difference. If I turn on the overhead ones, wow, that's like, you can't even see what's in there. I'm going to turn that off for the purpose of the video because, and I suggest you do the same during your workflow because it'll hurt your eyes. So today we are going to be trying to do Pickwick. I've been trying to choose public domain books as much as possible. Pickwick, I'm almost certain, is going to fall over if I even slightly jostle it. There he goes. So, one of the names of the game here is going to be having lots of little things on hand. Had my dad cut this one in half for me so that it's nice and small. Stick a little bookmarker up in there. It's got a very small little piece of tape on the bottom there. And I want to get him good and centered. Right in the center. And just so you know, everything you take is going to have to be upside down eventually. And so, like when I was doing this little dinosaur guy, how do I put him upside down? He just keeps falling over, right? Magic eraser, and a penknife. Great ASMR. I carved a little thingy out, little neck rest bed thingy for him. Yeah, and he works well. I would also suggest, if you're really being pro about this with the book, that you should get some clear fishing line and tie him shut. We're gonna just go forward with Pickwick the way he is. So when you are ready to shoot, you are going to get on your phone and you are going to connect to the Foldio 360 app, which comes with the turntable. It's got some wonderful options that I can't use really. It does have an option for phone 360. So if you get a little phone connector like this for your tripod, your patrons can put it in there. And what it does is it automates this whole process I'm about to show you. You're going to be taking 216-ish pictures all together. And so being able to automate the process would be really nice. The DSLR 360 would be the automatic process for a DSLR camera. Unfortunately, I have an older DSLR camera. The infrared no longer works on it. So any camera that has the functionality of a remote control shutter will be a better choice for you if you're starting from scratch. But I'll just show you, I'm going to just go with the basic turntable control. What I usually like to do, it's going to ask me to put in a number of degrees that I want it to rotate. So I usually start by doing a full 360 and making sure that I have got this entirely in the frame. And I'll do a complete rotation just and check, because when it's here as opposed to here, that's it may get out of frame. So I'm just going to show you, once I do a 360, then I'll just do 10 degrees. And every 10 degrees we go 10 degrees, move, click, move, click, move, click, move, click. Okay, so now we've got all 36 photos from that angle. I don't know if you can see, but I've got a little piece of blue tape right here at the front so that I don't actually have to count to 36. Pro tips. Okay, next thing you're going to do, you're going to shoot another set of 360. You are going to try to get it from about a 45-degree angle. Make sure it's all in the viewfinder. And from there, you're going to do another 36 photos from that angle. And then same one more time, all the way up, kind of about a 60-degree angle. Yeah, that's about right. You may need to zoom, you may need to adjust things just as they are. With books, it's not so bad, but with weird shapes like the dinosaur trying to get his tail in there, just adjust as needed. Take 36 more pictures. Then, if you don't want all kind of weird artifacts in your model, you take it and you put it upside down. Yep, and then you take 36 more pictures from this angle, and again, back down to 45 degrees, 36 more pictures from this angle, and again, back down, straight ahead shot, 36 more pictures from that angle. And so that is the process. That's more or less how it works. Once you have that done, you have it in your camera, upload it to a computer. I will show you what to do from there. So now you have uploaded all of your photos to your computer and you have logged into polycam. Polycam is some excellent browser-based software that will make these 3D models for you. And I'm going to show you how to do one, and I'm going to, while it uploads and processes, I'll show you some of the things that I've made with it and problems inherent in this program. There are other softwares that are also excellent for this. I had intended to use Agisoft Metashape. It's apparently an excellent software. However, it is 3 to 5 days shipping, and so I didn't have it in time for this video. Nevertheless, I think Polycam is a great way to go. It's pretty straightforward, and I think it is very user-friendly. So let's just take a look at what we've got. I'm in my library here, and I'll show you, but you go to the Create button, and you say Create a Photogrammetry Model. Remember, photogrammetry is where you take a whole bunch of 2D photos, like we just took, and turn them into an actual 3D model. So we're going to click that, and I am going to go to my Pickwick folder, select everything, and drag it on in here. I'm going to call this Pickwick, 220, after the number of images it is, 220 images. The medium optimization seems to be pretty high quality. Isolate objects from environment, because we flipped it upside down. We're going to click that. Sequential, it doesn't seem to make a big difference. I know it says here expected processing time is 30 to 40 minutes. In my experience, it's taken closer to 20. All right, I'm going to hit upload and process. I was going through and batch running a background removal through Photoshop. However, I will show you once this uploads, I don't think it's actually necessary. We will see how it works with the stand for Pickwick. I haven't used that yet, so I'll let this upload and check in with you in a minute. So there you can see Pickwick is processing. Like I said, takes some time. But let's just take a look real quick at some of the things that I've made. My very first one that I tried was the Wizard of Oz, and I took this one with just 36 photos straight on. And you're going to see there's no top. It's transparent. There's a back. It goes all the way around from what I took pictures of. But there's also there's also no bottom, and which is kind of great. I think those are artifacts, those black lines, but I'm not totally sure. An artifact is any weird little thing that shows up in your model that is not a part of the model that you shot. Actually, this one, before I edited it down, it had huge artifacts across the top and bottom, as we'll see, but I cropped it, and so with a square object, that's doable, but I'll show you what happens when it's not square. Okay, so here is the dinosaur, also taken with 36 photos straight on, and no top, no bottom, no angle, nothing. And you can see that's what I mean by artifacts. These black, whatever this is. It's just weird digital mess that's in there. So, you know, it's not bad, but, and I could crop it down and get most of it out. I'm not very good at this, and so I just, you know, not going to mess with that. But you can see, then I took one with 108 photos, straight on, 45 degrees, 60, 70-ish degrees, but didn't flip it over, didn't do it upside down. So you can see, top's great, artifacts on the bottom, and he's clear, he's transparent through his tail and his feet, because as far as the model's concerned, they don't exist, the bottom of these things. So that's what happens in that instance. This was me trying to be cheap and just flipping him upside down and taking 6 photos of his underneath, and that didn't work. It didn't make any difference compared to the other one. So this is the full 220, 216, however many photos. Awesome. Finally comes out. You can see this is so actually, whoa. This is so detailed. You can actually read that this was made in 1985, made in Hong Kong. That's cool. That's super cool. You can see I missed his tail. His tail was off the turntable, so that's the little artifact right there. I'm cool with that. I don't mind. He can have a little imperfect tail. So let's talk about these couple of failed ones. So I was trying to capture this little guy, little cute little teacher alien guy that one of my students gave me, and let me just put him right there. And he, this very first one, I tried just doing this. I tried with Polycam's camera app, just like taking a video around it. Nothing, it didn't do anything. Now I'm curious though, because I also applied this exact same 220 photo model, or protocol rather, to this attempt. And I am not sure if this is because the photos were a bit blurry, if it's because he's this color. Green can be a tricky one for cameras to pick up on. I tried batch changing his backgrounds of all of those photos to black. That didn't make a difference. So I'm going to try reshooting him eventually, and I'll see. But yeah, I don't know for right now why we can't get little green alien guy. But then, yeah, I apply the 220 photo, 216 photo model to this great double volume set of Stories Old and New. There he is. So this is Stories Old and New, 2-volume set. You can see there's a little bit of, it was a shiny cover on the book, so there's a little bit of weirdness with that, but overall pretty clear, pretty good. Like, if I zoom in on it, you can see the characters came out pretty clear, pretty legible, even for small characters on the back and front. Yeah, pretty good. So that's him. Yeah, and then I kept going. This is the little alien guy with the back background. War and Peace came out great. At this point, I am running all of these through Photoshop to remove backgrounds. So you can see War and Peace, Anne of Green Gables, Ulysses, those I all ran through Photoshop first. Check this out though. With Polycam, I think I don't even need to do that. Here's War and Peace with Photoshop background removal. Here's War and Peace without Photoshop background removal. Really not any difference. This is just with the raw photos straight through like I just showed you. So I don't see why there's any reason to waste the computer processing power. Okay, so let's see how Pickwick came out. Here he is, Pickwick. All right. Pickwick is a little bit funky there, is maybe because the book was gapping open a little bit more or less. But yeah, you can see it comes out pretty good. I'm almost certain that this little bit of distortion here would be solved with the fishing line keeping the book tied closed technique. So there you have it. That's it. Oh, actually, last step, you got to download it. So we are going to export this as a GLTF. If you wanted to, you could, I mean, in theory, you can make this an STL file, which is for 3D printing of these objects. To be continued. A lot of legacy software will accept an OBJ, like an dot object, but GLTF and GLB files seem to be pretty industry standard. So I'm going to download that as GLTF. There's Pickwick, putting him on my desktop. Boom. We're good. Oh, the only other thing that I probably should add is that in terms of camera settings, you're going to want to have this, if you're doing a DSLR camera, you're going to want it on manual, and you're going to want a real slow shutter speed. I think I had mine at 1/4 of a second, 1/25. The f-stop should be fairly high. I had mine set at f10. That's of course going to be somewhat dependent on how much light you're getting into yours. My lightbox is crazy bright, so and then my ISO I have down to 100 because what that does is it kind of minimizes the background noise and really focuses on the object itself. Yeah, so go forth. You are just as capable as I am of doing this. Get your equipment together. You can do this. Enjoy.